is Angelo, and we are here with the first coaching masterclass for 2025. And oh, what a subject I've picked for you today. Today's subject is the secret of time and how to do more in less time. Actually, there is a parable in Greek language. I don't know if it is common in any other language, that like a riddle or something that asks, what is it that runs unstoppably and you can never catch it? And the answer, of course, is time. And also, before I begin, I want to tell you something. In the Greek language, time and year is the same word, chronos. So why am I telling you this? Now it's a new year. And the question is it going to be a new perception of time, a one more fitting to your goals, to your desired happiness and success? So let us dive in deep into the subject. Before we begin, as always, I want to thank you and congratulate you for being here, because you know by now how easy it is to get distracted, and not only that, but also derailed from the path towards achieving the happiness and success you desire. Of course, you want to switch off all kinds of notifications and make sure that all other tabs, if you're watching from a PC or tablet, all the other tabs are switched off, and make sure that for the next 30 minutes at most, in this world, it is just you and me. Of course, you're more than welcome to take notes, but always remember that you have the replay at your disposal if you want to focus entirely on what we will be discussing here. And last but not least, I want to remind you that we have crossed the point of no return, meaning that the only outcome that you allow in your consciousness is you landing happily and safely at your desired destination. Now, how do you feel? The question that I begin each and every webinar with, and the question that you want to ask yourself many times during the day, simply because the better you feel, the better the quality of your life is right now, and also the more energy you have towards achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. Of course, I want to also remind you that we have set our thermostat here at the happy and unstoppable state. And if this is not the case for you right now, you take a pause, you take a time out from your daily schedule and practice the exercises of perspective, forgiveness, love, gratitude, and happy landing to elevate your emotional state and make sure you're operating from the best possible state. Now, I have picked a rather interesting quote for today's masterclass, and that is from Mahatma Gandhi, that said, "I have so much to accomplish today that I must meditate for 2 hours instead of 1. And initially, you might think, how on earth is that possible? If you have to do like a lot of stuff today, you want to eliminate other things from your daily schedule. But soon enough, you will completely agree with Mahatma Gandhi if this is not the case for you right now, because it has everything to do with your perception of time. So I have already prepared you for this, and this is something that many people are struggling to accept. And why is time your most valuable asset? Because let me ask you something. If you lose $100, like you have a $100 note in your pocket and somehow you lost it, right? You can find it back. If you lose your health, even if what you have right now is considered an incurable disease, many times in the past, an incurable disease has been proven curable, and people have found their health back, have gotten their health back, right? But if you lose even 1 second, 1 millisecond, you cannot get it back yet. Of course, I have to allow to myself that there is a potential in the future that we can take our time back and, like go back a bit in time and then correct our actions maybe and choose more effective actions. But right now, this is the case. So if you think of it like from a risk management, if you go like to one of those big firms in Manhattan or London that deal with risk management, they will tell you that since this is like the most scarce asset in your arsenal, this is the most valuable one. This is why we say that time is the most valuable asset. And I also promised to tell you why time management is a myth. And this is simply because you do not manage time. You cannot stop time or make it run faster at some other time, right? What you manage, the only thing you can manage is your attention, where you focus on. This is the only thing you can manage. So basically, it is attention management or perspective management that you care about. Time for each and every one of us runs relentlessly, unstoppably at a pace of 1 second per second. That's it. I know it sounds trivial. You may think right now that I am kind of, like trying to make myself look smart or anything, but all I care about is us having a much more serving perspective of time so that we can elevate the things that we can actually manage and make sure that we get the best of our time each and every day. So, why you feel that you don't have enough time? And as I said before, I promise to make this masterclass as long as 30 minutes. So I could spend like hours telling you it's because of this or because of that or the other, but I want to group all these reasons into one and just tell you that it is because you believe you don't. So if what you say during the day is, I don't have enough time, this schedule of mine is completely overwhelming. If you have like these kind of thoughts, this is your identity. So you feel that you don't have enough time because you repeat it over and over to yourself. And you produce anxiety simply because you cannot manage that, as I've said before. All you can manage is your attention. So let me give you the truth. And the truth is that we all have exactly the same time, which is 24 hours per day. This is all we've got, right? And yesterday, I watched like a few highlights of the inauguration of President Donald Trump. So, how much time does he have as the President of the United States? And the answer is, again, 24 hours. So, if the President of the United States has 24 hours during his day and I have 24 hours during my day, I better deliver. I better focus on the thoughts that deliver the happiness and success that I desire. And in many cases in the past, I have come across people that have had like much more dire situation than what I had to go through. And they could still manage because sometimes when I don't have kids, right? So when you have like 3 or 4 kids, you become more cynical, right? And you focus only on the things that truly matter. You have to, right? Otherwise you wouldn't make it. So this is the case. And I know that most of our master classes and most of the things that I share have to do with like people, let's say around my age. I'm about 50, I'm about to turn 50, but I want to share something that I've never shared before. And again, it has to do with time and it has to do with the youth. Like most probably people who are in their teens, maybe like 15 or 17 or something like that. And most people at that age would feel that they have like infinite time, right? That they have so much time, it's not an issue. But even though this is the case, even though this is true, and like statistically, if you take it, like someone who is 15 definitely has more time to live than someone who is 85. What is the case though? When you're at 15, you're still developing your belief system, your operating system, as I like to say, which is your beliefs and your habits also. So what happens is you develop that belief that you have a lot of time, so you misuse your time. You like spread out things that would have taken much less time, and also you choose As Jim Rohn used to say, you major in minor things. And before you know it, you are 50 or even 40, and you say, oh, now I don't have time to do all the things that I love to do. And not only that, you don't have the energy. And not only that, you don't have the operating system because you have developed some like weaker beliefs and habits, and now it feels much harder to change. So if you are watching in by any chance right now, you're kind of like in the vicinity of 15 years old and you're watching this, or if you're a parent and you have a kid who is at the age of about 15, you better educate them in making you better use of their time even from that age and develop that habit early on. Many times I hear people and gurus and coaches and thought leaders say that life is short. I don't believe that. I believe that life is not short. It is extremely valuable because we only have one chance at this. This is it. We have one life. So life is not short. Life is truly valuable. And the earlier that we totally embrace that fact, we have the opportunity to make it truly rich for ourselves and beautiful and amazing and fulfilling and meaningful. This is the case. So, how will you find the missing time, the time that you feel that you have? Like everyone, almost everyone at some point would feel, I don't have enough time. Let's break that once and for all. Okay? So again, I could give you like dozens of insights. I have picked like 5 very simple, applicable tactics that you can immediately put in your operating system and start working on it. Number 1, say many, many, many more no's. So I've heard once a phrase that resonated with me. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. So make sure that you do not have like a huge to-do list, but a much, much narrower to-win list. And it is full of things that affect specifically the happiness and success that you deserve and desire. That's about it. I know that some things could be interesting, but basically what is going on there, it is like flashing lights and like sneaky sounds derailing you from what you want to accomplish, from your desired destination. So you have a vision in your mind for what you want to achieve in 2025, right? And if you don't, you should again take a time out and make this clearer and more compelling so that it magnetizes your attention. And number 2, embrace Parkinson's law. And Parkinson's law says that an activity will fill up the time that you have allocated for it. So let me give you one of the most extreme examples that I have heard, and that is from Peter Thiel. And if you don't know, Peter Thiel is one of the founding members of PayPal and also one of the early mentors and investors on Facebook. He's like an extremely successful individual, especially like in the Silicon Valley space. And what he says, he creates a vision like for a decade, and then he asks himself, how can I accomplish my 10-year goal in a 6-month gap, in a 6-month period? How can I compress this 10-year schedule basically to 6 months? And of course, this will not always be the case, especially for someone who is getting started with this concept, but for sure, it will trigger higher level thoughts and actions for you and help you resonate with higher, also like with individuals that have like higher potential to help you get there faster. And what I like to say is that if you have like a limited amount of time to do something, you should invest more time on finding like a better vehicle, and less time like truly struggling and treadmilling towards achieving what you want to achieve. Number 3, do your job, only your job. And this has 2 legs. Number 1, you want to delegate to technology like AI, for example, to find you like the best possible title for your next email or your next article. And then you want to delegate to people who are willing to do what you can completely give to someone else and would be happy to do it, so that you clear more time from your schedule. As Jim Rohn used to say again, I cannot do your push-ups for you, right? And of course, this is also the case for you and I. And I know that most of the times, especially how I got raised, I could say, oh, I can do that. No, you shouldn't worry about that. You should worry about what someone else can do for you and focus only on the things that are basically your expertise, the things that truly have to go through you so that you can achieve the happiness and success you desire. The second leg has something to do with you dealing with other people's lives, like scrolling Instagram and judging about what someone else is doing. If you have time criticizing someone else's life, be careful, because you won't have time creating your super life. So again, this, you shouldn't get away from this freedom and responsibility, because it is your choice. It is your choice to be more focused on what affects your happiness and your success. Number 4, elevate your energy. The more energy you have, the more you put yourself towards flow, towards the happy and unstoppable state, the more time you will feel you have. I will give you an example. I'm almost certain that it has happened to you in the past. It is a quite common thing, actually. Let's say you've been to the movies, like to the theater, and you watch a movie that is about 2 hours long, but you're fascinated by it. It's like with your favorite characters and so on. And you see, at some point, you see the credits and you ask yourself, how on earth is that possible? Is it like 2 hours have passed? Is this true? And it felt like 10 minutes or something. And then you went to another movie, you got invited by a friend of yours, and you go to another movie that is about 1.5 hours long, but you kind of hate it. And this 1.5 hours feels like 1.5 days, maybe. Again, it's not about the time, it's about your energy. So if you put yourself in a state of flow, again, you will realize that everything else slows down for you. And as Albert Einstein used to say, time is an illusion, albeit a persistent one. So basically, what time is for our logical mind to have some kind of sense, and also it is a development of our consciousness as human beings, so that we can have like a sense of understanding with each other and a sense of communication. But as you know, everything basically happens right now, because now is the only time we've got. It is a perspective that is developed in our consciousness, and this is what time is. Number 5, upgrade your relationship with time, meaning your belief system and what you perceive as time. And make sure you have a more serving belief system around time, because again, time is an illusion. You can multiply your perspective of time if you elevate your energy. So now you know that you don't manage time, you manage your attention and you manage your energy. And this is why you want to prove to yourself over and over in the forthcoming days and weeks that you have absolute control of your effectiveness of your time, So the more you elevate these three things that I will share with you right now, this is like the group strategy that you will be having. Number one, you control your attention. Number two, you control your energy. You have at your disposal exercises to elevate your emotional state. And number three, you control your beliefs. You can upgrade at will your beliefs. So these are the three things that you have absolute control of. And now I will give you the secret. And the secret is that when you focus on what you cannot control, this leads to anxiety. So you're asking yourself, 20 hours, 24 hours is not enough. I have to sleep. I have to take care of my children. I have to work really hard on my new project. 24 hours are not enough. So you're filled with anxiety. Why? Because you do not have control over how many hours you have. They will be 24 regardless of what you do. But if you focus on what you can control, your attention, your energy levels, and your belief system, then you become unstoppable. You have so much self-confidence because you understand that it is not a matter of time, it is a matter of my attention, it is a matter of my perspective, it is a matter of how strong, how focused I feel right now. And of course, it is also a matter of having the belief that you can always, no matter what is going on in your life, you can always choose higher value thoughts and actions. Now, once again, I want to tell you what Gandhi said. I have so much to accomplish today that I must meditate for 2 hours instead of one. So, my question to you is 20 minutes later, does this resonate a bit more with you than 20 minutes ago? If so, you're on the right track. You have already started upgrading your belief system around time, and you took your attention off time management and towards attention management, the things that you can actually control, the things that you will always can affect. So that said, I'm going to give you your just two exercises, your homework for this month. Number one, start applying the five tactics that I have already given you to make more time, to feel that you're actually making more time for yourself. And number two, acknowledge that it is you who is in control, because you will never, ever feel anxiety again. Because this is all it takes. This is the secret. Take your attention off of the things that you cannot control, that are out of your control, and focus only on controlling and upgrading your attention, your energy, and your beliefs. And this is all it takes. And one easy way to do that, as I said before, is to upgrade your vision right now. If this is not the case, make it more clear and more compelling so that it magnetizes your attention to the point that you feel unstoppable. And when you put yourself in the flow, you know that you can make up so much time. I'm sure if you watched our party for the 10-year accomplishment of Daily Shots of Inspiration, you know the story that I have written a book in 17 hours, and it wouldn't have been the case if I couldn't put myself in the state of flow. And then you have a completely different perception of time. That said, I want to thank you for being a part of this masterclass. I want to thank you for your attention. You are on the right track simply by being here. And not only that, I want to remind you also that you deserve everything you want, and we all deserve your best self. So start right now putting one or more of these simple and applicable 5 tactics to upgrade the use of time, the effectiveness of each and every day of yours. Because let's face it, in 2025, we all have 365 days. So my question to you is, how many of these days will be super days? how many of these days will be truly strong, solid steps towards achieving the happiness and success you so deserve and desire. That's all it takes. So I will be seeing you very, very soon with another masterclass. And of course, I will see you tomorrow with the next daily shot of inspiration. Ciao, ciao.